Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Headspace podcast, where we're going to review Lil Wayne's The Carter 5. That's right, we're going to say it right at the beginning to see if Google likes it. My name is HSR.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And
taking my thunder.
Well, it was for Google. We're trying it out. Before we jump into all of that, though, we're going to do some housekeeping. So you can check in the description of this video when we're going to start talking. So basically, we go through the album track by track and give our opinions, talk about some significant things. Because of the number of tracks on this one, we might go a little quicker than normal today. Just, you know, we're not really professionals or anything. It's just to let you know what we think, and we want to have a conversation. So we want to hear you put in some comments down below of what you thought and what you liked, what you thought of our review, kind of responding, you know, and then I'll come at you in the comments. And just to show you care, last week we reviewed Brockhampton's album Iridescence, and Mr. Lindell Williams himself left a lovely comment. He said, "I think the album cover may be trying to represent a more freer or open-minded type of vibe in a kind of hippie-ish way. And I'm saying that because of the multicolored shirt, the weird lighting. The subject matter was very good, and the sound was so-so. I think it's a 4.3 type material. I would have liked to have heard more instruments become part of their album to set the moods and vibes deeper, and I think they might be on their way in that direction. Nice review." So yeah, it was a good album. I liked it. You should check out the Brockhampton project, but that's not really why you're here. But we do read all your comments and stuff. So definitely want to give a quick shout out to our patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Linda Williams, and Super Osco 1994.
Woot woot.
And yeah, so now you know what album we're going to do today. Chris, why don't you say it again just for old time's sake?
Well, for this week's Headspace album, we went with Lil Wayne's The Long-Awaited Carter 5.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Lil Wayne a few times now.
Dedication 6, Dedication 6 Reloaded, all the other
Carter 3.
Yeah.
And that's about the extent of my albums of Lil Wayne's and mixtapes or whatever.
Well, I've also listened to
a bunch of singles.
No, I've actually listened to I'm Not a Human Being 1, the album. I listened to Carter 4.
Okay.
I started, like, I was there for Carter 3, some of the singles for Carter 3, but then I really got on to Carter 4 when it was the kind of the white background with the graduation there.
I mean, I was, just for context, a big Lil Wayne hater when I was younger, just because I'm a hater like that sometimes.
Lil Wayne's my guy.
And then I realized how good he is as I reviewed his albums, and now I'm a big Lil Wayne fan. So for the last year or so, I've been really excited about hearing the Carter 5 finally. I've been following his court case, but as you all know, he got free, and then they put out that tweet, which was a bunch of celebrities apparently tweeting their jersey number with Carter 5. That was a little thing that was happening, and so everyone thought it was coming out on the 21st because of LeBron.
I like his announcement video. How did you see it?
No.
He's walking through his house, and at one point, but he does it in a way where it's kind of like trolling. So he turns around, he's like, "I will be releasing the Carter 5 on my birthday." But the way he's saying it, it's like a narrator or like a show host is giving you the answer, but not, you know how they usually do it like in a funny way, and they're like da-da-da. He's being so blunt about it that
he's just like, I bet it was a troll. I'll bet it was completely like he loved it. I bet he loved the fact. And
he did keep his word though. Like he did drop it on.
Yeah, and he put it out now. But I bet he was planning on that the whole time. But he just let this rumor go, and he was just so happy that happened because it's great marketing. But what's really cool is that 4 years later, the Carter 5's out. I bet secretly it's not really the exact album that would have dropped back then. Well, I get the feeling they've updated it a little bit. And
my whole thing is just Triple X is on here, and I don't think that 6 years ago Triple X was around.
But I appreciate that. I feel like also the length. In some cases, I feel like it's kind of an exaggerated thing. But if you're going to have something like that's this anticipated, that's this long, and you're a guy like Lil Wayne and Dedication 6, like you just banged up 40 songs there, like it's cool that it came out this long, you know? And like he kind of added some extra stuff for everybody. That's how I felt, at least.
From what I also understand, it's the final one of the series. of the Carter series, right?
Which is why it's so cool. Hold on, just look at that cover. Was this have like his mom and him on it for this time? Like it's a little bit different, you know. And you got that nice red coloring, and it's just so it looks really nice. It really kind of has this like.
I feel like that plays on. If you look at the Carter 4, it's the kid version of Lil Wayne graduating.
Yeah.
Right? Carter 3, it's the kid version of Lil Wayne looking like a boss.
Right.
Right. What does this mean? Like, in terms of albums, like, even after hearing the album, I started looking at the album cover and I was like, this seems to be a little bit more personal to it.
Right.
Like, even looking at the photo, it's not just him.
So I feel like it's kind of like communicating, here's like the source behind the strength a little bit. Like, kind of, he's come to a place where he appreciates his mother to a point where he felt like she should in some way be involved in this album, and as she is, and you know, I love the idea of the Carter 5. I like the idea of just like how he's kept his series is running. Like I like how he has multiple series that are all specific. And honestly, I was blown away by the Carter 3. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. So it's cool to see that like this is like this main series of like where Wayne gets onto some of the more real shit in life. I think I want to talk about it and don't want to dilly-dally anymore unless you have more to say here.
The only thing I wanted to say was I like how he marketed "Sorry for the Wait" in terms of waiting for this.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
He also did it for the Carter 4. The first "Sorry for the Wait" was for the Carter 4, and the second one was the Carter 5.
But I'm just saying like how he did that. Like
Yeah.
it was a nice move, and it's like, you know what? It's more honest. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, sorry for the wait, guys. Here's like a little thing to hold you over.
Cool.
That's
so. The first one is "I Love You Dwayne."
You take care of me and my son, your little brother. We don't want it for nothing.
So like I said, his mom is gonna be more involved, and I mean I don't know about you, but I thought this was really sweet.
This made me cry. This is a tearjerker. I'm not even gonna fucking lie about this, man. This growing up, Lil Wayne I had two rappers, I would say, is Eminem and Lil Wayne. I had the two kind of battled out for, like, I would say the main spot for me, I would say, right? And for me, Lil Wayne was always like hard gangster, like I can keep it on my own, like blah blah blah, I hold my own. And then to hear his mom like just be so pure and honest, and she's crying, but like not like weeping or like negative, but like sobbing and kind of choking up as she's expressing how she loves Wayne. He's her rock. He's like holding her down through everything. She, in a way, kind of like appreciating. I kind of took it as like she appreciates how she raised her kid, but at the same time, everything that Wayne has done for her, she like appreciates that more. Like she goes on to say at one point like they had nothing, and he always made sure she was good from nothing when they came from that. And it's like shit. Like if your mom has never said that to you or whatnot, or if you have never had that interaction with your parents, this is, well, your mother at least, this is something that will hit you.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty powerful in that regard. She kind of just comments on how people keep asking her about the album, hopes it comes out, you know, stay strong, appreciates him, and how like he holds her down and all that stuff. And it's just this sincere expression from her. And I mean, so I look at it like this: to introduce this album and to hear it for the first time, it's really amazing. And I can see how some people would want to listen to it every time. I give this a 4 because I thought it was really cool for what it is, and it was really beautiful, and the sentiment is awesome. But I don't imagine I would really listen to this again for myself, in light of the fact that, I don't know, I'm not that into the a cappella talking kind of thing, really, in a lot of cases. And I think it's super sweet, don't get me wrong. And I really like the sensitive side of Wayne that he's putting out. I think it sets the tone for the project properly.
I think it sets the tone for more than just the project.
But like, I mean, yeah, elaborate.
Well, because I was thinking, like, if this were to turn into a classic, right? Wayne eventually is gonna die, and we're gonna all listen to his albums after that. Imagine when you have that moment where you're like, I want to listen to some Lil Wayne or whatnot, and you play this album. It's like you get that sentiment.
I mean,
can still like.
I understand that, I just wouldn't do that. I'm saying for everyone else, I understand that everything about this is perfect in theory. But for my preferences, I could live without it.
Fair.
But it is really nice. It is really cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the idea of it, and it really it hit me. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't actually tear up, but I got close. That's all I'm trying to say. But then I thought about it just after the fact, and I'm like, second time I heard it, it was okay, a little less impactful, and it's one of those.
I mean, of course, 3-4 times down the line, if you're gonna I do agree. There's only so many times you can hear somebody say the same speech.
I mean, for me, but I'm also the type of person that really doesn't watch a movie twice because I don't really enjoy that, and that's me. And so if you feel differently, I understand if you relate to that. For me, I don't know, it's fine. I feel like I'm cool. 4 is a good mark. I understand what it is. It's a good introduction.
I gave it a 4.7. I thought it was actually I think that I feel like there maybe could have been a little bit of a beat behind it, a little bit of maybe just a little bit more life. I understand
that would have been cheesier, or would have taken away from it.
Maybe
this is just raw, right? That's the point.
Absolutely. But I think it's in terms of being a more having his mother on the cover, the personal side of it. I'm going into this wow, I'm gonna get a side of Wayne that we have never seen, or at least I've never seen, and it's to hear his mother express and you can really feel the pain that she has in terms of maybe being scared and worried. Not to mention let's be clear, he also died at one point.
Yeah.
He went through the whole thing. I mean,
he's alive.
He's alive, but he didn't overdose on lean and all this
seizures
shit
and some health issues. But I would say it's a bit of a stretch to say he died.
Fair enough. It is a stretch to say
he might have been like that. His heart stopped for a couple of minutes and he sort of died, and they revived him type shit. But in my head, it's weird because he's still alive. So using the idea that died.
Fair enough. No, I agree. I agree.
I understand how impactful all this is.
Right. No, I'm not trying to just go. I'm not going against you. I'm just saying this is what it made me feel, and this is what I appreciate.
All I'm saying is adding music would have taken away from that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's talk about Don't Cry.
He's in the Garden of Eden with a bunch of Eves, no fruit punch for me. I sipped from the fountain.
I mean, it's cool that XXXTENTACION is, I don't know how to say it right.
Well, rest in peace, first off.
Yeah, it's it's cool to see him there. It's whatever. And I'm under the impression this was done before he passed away. So it was a planned thing. That's cool that that's there. It was nice to hear his little hook.
Well, I like the rawness in it. I like how he kept consistent with his type of style, and he's singing, but he's whining, and he doesn't want you to cry. He doesn't want you to go. He loves you, and it's
he's talking to that girl.
Right. I mean, X could be. But
I'm talking about that's X's part,
No, right. But I'm also trying to look at it in concept of the song itself. He's I don't think Wayne's talking about a girl in this song.
No, but I do think X is, and I think that's kind of part of the contrast. It's each of them are just kind of that's X's source of pain and frustration or whatever, and then Wayne is doing a very similar thing on the verses, just kind of elaborating in a lot more details,
Well, as he starts his verse, Wayne, verse 1, staring into the clouds, am I rising or are they coming down? I see death around the corner and U-turn signs looking like a smile. What do I do now? Who gonna find me how? And I like that straight up because, you can get this sense that there's signs to tell him to turn around, but he's so trapped in whatever negativity he's in that he's just going forward. He's just kind of chasing that dragon in a sense.
Well, it's also he has this sense of mortality and confusion that's going on, right? Because even in that first part, I see death around the corner and the U-turn's looking like a smile. It's almost like he's been going through this crazy shit, this pace of life that's going on. I mean, doctors keep telling him you got to slow down or you're going to die and shit. So it's almost like he knows that because he keeps pursuing all these things and whatever. And he doesn't necessarily change that much in that regard, which I admire his work ethic, don't get me wrong. So he's he must have this haunting feeling that maybe he's no longer immortal and he's facing his mortality. And I really feel that there's this heaviness to this song.
That's crazy. I didn't think of it that way.
I'm because then you gotta also consider his legacy. Nowhere to turn is right after that. Nowhere to turn but around and round. Just another that lost his head. No, a fucking king forgot his crown. I am not number one. It's true. I'm just 9/27/82, which is his birthday.
I like that.
And so I feel like what I noticed straight away is there's a maturity here. Something that I don't think I've noticed in anything I've heard by Lil Wayne before. Like this desire to like kind of accept it, like the humility. It's really interesting. Now maybe it's there, and if you guys want to point me at Humble Wayne in the past and shit, let me know what albums to bump, because I really enjoy this tone that he has, and it's really like, you know, goes on. Now I mean, it kind of just continues on with that tone, and then just has his Lil Wayne lines, but it's so coherent. You know, it's not just like random one-offs like I felt a lot of the Dedication 6 albums were. You know, you know, it kind of flows into like.
Well, you know, I like a line at the end of the first verse when he goes, "But if heaven's as good as advertised, I want a triple extension on my motherfucking afterlife. Rest in paradise." And I feel like he's also questioning like what's gonna happen after. Like he kind of has this. I think he's trying to explain like he has this idea of what heaven is because that's what we're told. It's a good place.
But
or
like, just to add to that, not to cut you off,
Right.
like the lines before it are talking about the Garden of Eden and how he's surrounded by women and is confusing, you know. And then if he's looking for the fountain of youth, but if he happens to die, etc., put him in New Orleans. So like there's this flow, this cohesiveness that is really awesome. Like it feels like a really complete song, and yeah, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say I like when he goes triple extension on my motherfucking afterlife because it's like an ode to triple extentation.
Well, like even if that, but the thing is, what's cool about that line is it could have been written before, just as a nod to having him on like the song, but it still works as a nod after the fact.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I think happened. Given it, maybe not though. Maybe Wayne flipped it up, but you're right. It is beautifully
executed,
put into this track.
I like in verse 2, Wayne goes, "Talent is God-given, be grateful. Fame is not given, be humble. And conceit is self-driven, drive carefully, stay in your lane, seat buckled. And sometimes where there is no music, we toot our horns, rum bum bum, that woman carried the future, and Tunchi was born like dun dun dun." And that little excerpt there, I like that because he's like acknowledging that this isn't just work that he put in, that he was born this way, that he was able to spit bars like this, just go into a booth and write and spit a whole track. It's self-acknowledgement in a sense. Like, again, facing that immortality. And
I think it's a little bit more like recognizing that everything that's been given to him is given to him by God, so he needs to be humble and not get caught up in tooting his own horn, actually, because tooting his own horn is a dangerous thing and to be careful. But at the same time, you know, sometimes when there's no music, when you're all by yourself, you do toot your own horn, and then he kind of compares it like, I was God, blessed by God, and this woman carried it.
Well, that also redefines, like, he also, I think we've had this conversation, like, Wayne did create an era. Wayne did mark a specific point in hip-hop history.
I mean, it is debatable that Lil Wayne is one of the most efficient in terms of output rappers consistently doing stuff guys ever. He's one of the greatest. It's flat out. So like him to make a claim like that, it's surprisingly fair. It's one of the few guys I think who can get away with making really grandiose claims.
But it also
like
shows
that.
his goofiness as well. I've also known Wayne to have fun. Like, Wayne also got like the funny bars, the goofy bars, the tricks, and the whatever. So I feel like he's also maintaining his demeanor in terms of being that kind of fun-having guy as well.
I don't feel like most of this song is fun.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying like he's still
okay. I mean, it's really well done. I feel like, yeah, he adds some effects and stuff to make the flow work, but I mean, fun is a weird word for this one. This one is such a serious and heavy song, in my opinion. Like, it's almost dark. The wheels fell off. I rode the hubcack. Is it suicide or it's do or die? It's newer days or bluer skies. I told myself it's just you and I. I don't know if I'm calling this one fun.
I get that.
But I do think that if you're talking about like charismatic and engaging and like entertaining to listen to, I completely agree with that. Listen, this song, Wayne's part's fantastic. The beat is really not my favorite on this album. And I feel like in some, my main thoughts are like this. There's two sides. There's songs I have interest in the content on and songs I don't. And then there's songs where I feel like Wayne's rapping style is cool, like this one. And then there's songs where maybe I don't like it as much. And then the beat is all part of my like flow here and how I ended up. Because I think that from a talent perspective, Wayne is nearly flawless this entire project. Just to throw it out there. But I gave this one a 4.25 because the overall beat is not one of my favorites on this, but I do think this is a really good song, and it was really like, it really hit me in the take Wayne seriously kind of mode, you know?
Fair enough. I gave this song a 4.6. It was almost perfect, but I do agree the beat is a little bit kind of drony, kind of very, I want to say bassy, but like reverb bassy type, like echoey a little bit. So that was really it. But I mean, I like the diversity on XXX that he was capable of doing, and it really kind of was like, shit, we're not gonna get any other new projects from this kid anymore.
Man, we're gonna get some posthumous stuff, I promise.
Well, yes, like whatever
You
has
know
been
what?
pre-recorded, but
That's
not
what
like.
I mean. So I dedicate that word that it's true. Dedicate. Yeah, buddy.
Now I'm just buying land back to the block where they got more rock fans than the fucking rock band under.
So what's funny about this song is 2 Chainz made a song called Dedicate, which is all about Lil Wayne. So Lil Wayne jacks parts of that song to talk about how Lil Wayne is influential. So 2 Chainz song is about how Lil Wayne's influential. And Lil Wayne's song is about how Lil Wayne's influential. So he took the 2 Chainz bit to make his hook. It sounded a bit like he chopped and screwed it, like slowed it down.
Yeah.
And it sounds really cool. So I really do enjoy that hook. It's really, really fun to listen to. But this is one of those ones where, I mean, I don't know how much I care about any particular line, let's say. There's just stuff that kind of popped out to me as I was going through it, right? Like, I'm just talking about how I listened, how it kind of came up. There are some really fun lines on this, like, I turned a goddamn into a God's plan.
Hey.
Like, that's a fucking cool line, right? Because it's about,
Drake.
like, Drake. But in the grand scheme of things, this song is about his influence, and almost every line or two is its own unique little thing kind of commenting on stuff.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's how Lil Wayne puts tracks together. So it's very coherent in that regard. But it means that there's lines I care about and lines I don't care about. But I do think his flow and his voice and the way he hits it is fucking cool, no?
Well, yeah, I like when he went tattoo, Suwu, Bugatti, new boo, new subject, new paper, new class, new school, new buddies, new haters, new ass, new boobs, much later, too soon, too bad, too cool, too hot, too lit, too high, too move.
Why did you like that?
Because I feel like he's addressing all the new rappers that he's influenced. I feel like he's kind of talking to them like, yo, just like, this is what you guys are. You're new. You're this. You're this.
Okay,
you're all
right.
that.
Because too eyes to view, but too blind to bloom. Who lied to you?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like it's the first verse though. Like the first verse, he's addressing
So,
that. Second verse is
like,
boosting his own ego.
When I hear that, it's kind of like my brain goes into a little bit of, let's go, autopilots a little bit
Fair
into
enough.
the vibe. Like,
Fair enough.
I don't find that that's that. I mean, I get it. It's not dope. It's just not that dope to me. Those
Fair.
bars,
Fair.
the overall, whatever. But no, it's cool. I think it is interesting. And then 2 middle fingers, what's up high to whom it may consume. Kaboom, goddamn. You know, like that I'd say would be a little more of his sillier side kicking through as
Right.
he's poking fun at the other rapper. This is a funner song.
No, absolutely. I do want to talk about the chorus first when it starts off, giving the tone of the song, because when 2 Chainz is going, you tatted your face and you changed the culture. Lil Wayne's like, you changed. And then he goes, you scream Suwu and the gangsters loved you. Yeah, yeah. And I feel like 2 Chainz is giving that concept of like praising Lil Wayne. But I
Right.
feel like Wayne doing the ad libs is kind of like acknowledging that I feel like he kind of feels like he screwed up.
I don't think
Or, like-
anybody screwed up. I think Wayne is just kind of being kind of flamboyant. Like, I know. I do want to throw some love
Like
at-
nonchalant a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yo, hold up. You know what's sick is the end of the first verse when he's like, no, we did not land on Plymouth Rock, but it landed on our land. Now I'm just buying land. Back to the block where they got more rock fans than a fucking rock band. Under a rock man. We need Barack man. I do what I can to keep it solid as a, you know what I'm saying, with some rock playing. Because, you know what I'm saying? Keep it solid as a rock. That's where I love Lil Wayne. The fact that off the top of his head, he just bounces around the word rock as a main rhyme scheme, uses it to fucking death in a coherent way that throws in Barack Obama, who has, in fact, given him some
And
props
shouts out
and
an
some
album.
fucking loves. You know, all of that really interesting shit, man. And I mean, in the same verse, there's some corny parts, but there's some awesome parts, and I think it makes it really fun. The second verse is the same kind of thing. I'm just, I don't know. There's not that much that I thought was super awesome.
I like how I think I feel like Wayne paid it a little bit of a tribute to 2 Chainz.
Oh, because the Bart, you a simp, like The Simpsons.
Oh, maybe that. I'm a Martian and shit. You a orphan little bitch. If I taught you some shit, that's like Harvard little bitch. And 2 Chainz got a song that goes, "Watch out, little bitch." So I feel like
a lot of people.
I understand, but the way that he said it, I feel like the way he said "little bitch" kind of sounded like 2 Chainz, like he like verted it a little bit. So I felt like maybe that was a little thing. You know, more of that, like, you ain't talking about shit. But apparently this is like talking to Migos. You ain't talking about shit, but you softer than shit. Walk it like you talk it. Now you walk it in shit. I go Marvel movie on some Marvelous shit.
Sure.
So he's clearly talking. Well, walk it like I talk it. That's
Okay.
that's Migos.
I mean, sure. I don't care.
I don't know. I felt
much.
like there may have been some shots or whatnot. Apparently, you know, the Genius Annotation was saying something about like their enemies.
I mean, sure.
That just
My level of caring of a Lil Wayne versus Migo beef is
well, it's interesting to know that, you know, the person
-5.
he put on God's plan is chilling with Migos. It's like baby bro's chilling with your enemy.
Maybe that's why it's not on the album. I don't know. Honestly, no, Drake's not on it.
Drake's on the album.
Where?
On one of the songs, Drake goes, "Yo, Weezy, where you been? What's up?" He's on the album.
That's not on the album.
He's
no
on the
verse.
album.
What verse?
Oh my God,
Go
dude.
look at your fucking credits. Is Drake really on the album?
Drake's voice is on the album. I swear to God.
Okay, what song?
Okay, that's it. Hold on. We're gonna go to Genius.
Anyway, that's fine. I don't. Anyway, we'll just move on then to the next song, and it's a fucking uproar. Swiss Beats.
What did I give this song for?
Did you give it a 4?
Okay, hold on.
What did you? Oh yeah, did we give grades? I gave this. Sorry, I gave this a 4.25.
I gave this a 4.6.
I think it's a 4.25 because at the end of the day, again, my interest in it isn't as high. It's kind of flary. It's nice to listen to, but the subject matter is a little flary. I don't know. It didn't engage me as much, but it's still a good song, etc. And you give it a 4.6, fine. Now we'll do the uproar thing while Chris tries to talk about Drake.
Above hoes, that is still my favorite love quote. Put the gun aside. What the
So at the moment, Chris can't find his Drake feature, and apparently Drake's voice is heard on the album.
Drake plays this like hype man, and he just goes, "Hey, like hey Weezy, where have you been? Like it's been a long time."
But Drake's not featured anywhere. So let's talk about Swiss Beats on this introduction, hyping up some shit. First of all, this is my kind of beat. I love this beat. It made me feel very, very happy to hear it. I was just bouncing from the first time I fucking heard this track. And, like, unlike the other ones where the beats weren't hitting me as nicely, this one, like, Wayne just fucking comes in. You know, unfortunately, like, I don't know that I care that much about what he's saying. Because, like, for real, it's like, what the fuck, though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I let one go. Okay, bow the fuck, though. I don't bluff, bro. Aiming at your head like a buffalo. Love that line, though. Because when you're hunting a buffalo or whatever, you'd be fucking trying to get a headshot to take it out so you can keep the rest of it proper and eat the meat and shit.
Right.
So it's like, it's fun. And it's flexing. And it's
a hype track.
And it is... When he says hype, it's an understatement. It's like fucking hype.
It's hype, but I think that's the value of this song, that it is hype. Because
Swiss Beats, man.
Like, neither did I really give, like, I quoted some lines, but I didn't really care about what Wayne was saying.
But not to take away from the fact that
not in a bad
how
way.
he said it was so fucking hype, because he's like, what the fuck though, hop it up, and I'm bouncing on a beat like this though.
On that. Like when he's going, what the fuck though, where the love though, I kind of take it as like Wayne is like questioning, you know, maybe some fans or maybe some people who are not supporting him anymore. The industry or whatnot.
Other rappers not giving him love.
We could get that, and I was like, okay, it's a cool concept, and that's great. But a part of me just wasn't really enthralled in this track.
But this track is the hypest shit we've heard so far. That's all I'm trying to say. For me, it's fantastic. It reminds me of like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I gave it a 4. Like it's a good
way
song.
better than that. This shit's a 4.5 easily.
No,
this shit's so good. You can't, his like technique. First of all, he takes his flow and does something completely different than what he's
Absolutely.
done. And he's fucking bouncing around. His puns are fucking solid and on point. Like, get the fuck though. I don't bluff, bro. I come from the scuffle without a scuff. Whoa, puff, puff, bro. I don't huff though, because he does the weed, but not the harder, those kinds of inhaling type drugs. Yellow diamonds up close, catch a sunstroke at your front door with a gun stove. Knock, knock. Who's there is how it won't go. Because he's not, gonna be that he's gonna bust it and fucking take some shit. And it just has this like this flair to it where he's just so cocky in the best possible kind of way.
I mean, you can tell him and Swizz Beatz had fun together on this.
And I think it just comes on through with like this. It's not really about what he's saying though. It's about how he's saying it. It's about the attitude on this track. It's about the fact that you're gonna turn up to a song like this.
This is a party vibe. Like I even said,
as far as that goes, it's fucking hype. Like that is how I look at it. You can't be like, oh, the party song isn't the most lyrical, dense. It's a party song and it's a good one. I don't know. I'm gonna stand by that 4.5 on 5. This is like the first second I heard it, I knew I was gonna love this song, and I did because it's that fucking good. Now, if it had been a little bit more lyrically interesting, I guess across the board, I think I might have given it a higher mark. But that doesn't take away from it. In my opinion, it doesn't need it. It's just fucking great the way it is.
Well, I do like when he went money over bitches and above hoes. That's still my favorite love quote. Put the gun inside. What the fuck for? I sleep with the gun and she don't snore. Got a silencer on that, Nina.
See? It's just Wayne flossing about his gangsta ways and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why you hating on this one.
I'm
This
not
is the best
hating
one
on
so
this
far.
one, but you're going to hate on me for the next one.
The next one's pretty fucking cool for us Montrealers. Let's talk about Let It Fly.
Drain these nights, see the smoke clouds through the entertainment light. The way it go down.
Dirt Work fucking is on the production credits of this. I was involved in making this beat and shit. And that's some Montreal talent there. And that guy, I don't know, I met him I think once or twice back in the day. And he's a huge part of like building up Montreal scene and doing some stuff. So to see him on the Carter 5 as that beat is fucking nice. Like let's just be real, that's a fucking good beat. Yep. I just wanted to give some love and draw some attention to that Montreal fucking awesomeness that managed to be there. Because how often does that happen? That Montreal's on like Lil Wayne's album or something, So that was really cool. And y'all should check out his shit and love Montreal. Okay. Travis Scott didn't piss me off. I really like this song. I think it's fucking cool. I didn't know what to expect with Travis Scott, but like that verse is fine. Lyrically, I don't know that I care about a lot of this track.
He's kind of, I feel like from what I've heard from Travis Scott, maybe the singles that I listened to, I did gander at Astro World. He's kind of doing the Travis Scott thing. He's talking about, taking over the game. He's talking about still like sipping lean and doing his thing and just enjoying life and living through the fame. And he's at the top of the mountain.
I mean, his flow is nice. What I really enjoyed is like how he raps, and I really like this beat. And I mean, it's fine. Like, it's like, I do like when he's like, I got a driver for the pent to drop me around where I've been. I keep some pussy just to lick. They help me out when I vent. She want to hit that shit again. Nah, whatever. That's the phone call when my blood rings. It's the Carter 5. Let the thugs sing. I thought that was a really like nice little nod. He's enjoying the kind of lingus, the lifestyle, that he's kind of a little lavish. He's on the Carter 5, which is pretty fucking cool. He sounds pretty good. It's like solid, I don't really care about the general theme, to be honest, but I do like
the effects.
I'm okay with the effects. Like, it didn't sound bad to me, but it wasn't like, I think that was my only real grievance with this. Is it's not that stuff isn't my favorite. I think Wayne sounds lovely though. I really enjoyed Wayne's verse. It's alive. I'm alive. I'm arrived. It's C5. You get the sense of like right off the jump, Wayne's free. He's out of that shit. He can drop the Carter 5.
He can let it fly
happening.
now. He can let his
and
do
it's
his
like
thing.
I feel like from that point on, the song becomes like flawless, and it's pretty good. Like, free your mind, read your mind, body take a week to find a cost, been like never mind. What's on your mind? Put the pistol to your mind and blow your mind. Control your mind freak, no sober mind. I'm so behind. I like how he can do that, and he keeps the like plot moving in a sense, and he keeps the rhymes going. And it really has this like sense of freedom. Like you almost get the sense that like for the first time in ages, Wayne can sleep at night almost, you know, like he
Yeah.
doesn't have this anxiety almost the same sense. Like it's pretty cool. At least on this track. And I kind of also like stuff like Tunchi, Tuna, Lunatic, My Goonies, Goon the Gooniest, Run Inside Your Room and Kill You or Who You Rooming With.
Hey.
The Uzi with the booty clip. That's just a funny line, right? Because
Right.
he uses booty. But like in general, you got this whole fun vibe there. The Gooniest, you know,
Well,
like that's
the
that
thing,
fun
like,
shit.
I feel like this song also is part of Wayne is like expressing that he's happy that he can release the Carter 5, that he won the battle, that he did what he had to
But
do.
he's also savage because if you take the T from Tunchi and use it as the crucifix, oof,
Yep.
that's some like intensity.
It gives you this level of like, and I feel like the vibe itself also has this level of freedom to it, and you can feel like Lil Wayne expressing that freedom, and it's powerful. It's nice. The track is great. The production on this track is fucking outstanding.
Dirt
I like
work.
how they and I like how they mesh the voices together with the beat properly, and it doesn't sound like it's overlapping or whatnot. It doesn't sound like it's overpowering.
It's just nice.
It's 4.4 on 5.
I give it a 4.5. I really like it. I think like if Travis Scott was a little more, let's say it was Kendrick or something, I'd probably be giving it a 5. It's just a little bit of style, but I liked Travis Scott more than I thought I would because I peeped a bit of Astroworld and it wasn't really for me. Anyway, my will can't be broken.
Space shuttle say now I'm raising you, and ain't no baby food unless you go and take the neighbor's food.
This song is so awesome. It's just like that little chorus. I don't know who it is or what it's sampled from or what it's created from or who, whatever. But it just sounds amazing. You cannot break down what can't be broken. Out of all the wrinkles, I was chosen. When all the lights, they get low. When all the curtains, they close. You cannot break down what can't be broken. And so you really get the sense that Wayne has this strength in him, right? And that he's dealing with a whole bunch of stuff or the world's hating. And let's be real. A lot of us just hate on Lil Wayne like he's a joke. A lot of people do. Maybe even you watching this have made Lil Wayne the butt of many of your jokes over the years for the dumbass shit he said online and stuff. But then you got like...
I feel like you also have to kind of respect what he's built, though. I feel like part of the song is also people like to shit on people's careers. People like to trash on different empires. And like every empire, when you build it, it comes crashing down at one point or somebody's going to want to attack. And
then, but like this response he has is what I'm saying. Like it's like in that first verse, you just get the sense Wayne comes in and you almost feel bad for ever making fun of him for like, at least I kind of felt a little bad, but
well,
I
feel like you feel bad in sense of like, I feel like I felt bad now.
That's what I mean.
Like now, right.
Because of this song and how he said that. Right. So they can do all they can do, but they can't break unbreakable. They're scared to face the truth because they hate the view. They taste the juice. I hope it make them puke. I'm breaking loose. Should I throw the deuce or should I wave at the deuce? In 1982, my mama take me to a space shuttle. Say, now I'm raising you. You ain't no baby food unless you go and take the neighbor's food, etc. And it's just like, when you really just consider the struggle and everything he's had to overcome, and the fact that in light of everything, Lil Wayne is one of the most talented and greatest rappers out there, and his life isn't necessarily as glorious or easy as people like make it sound and stuff. And look, having $180 million isn't happiness. It's just wealth, you know? Like, it's just, you have different struggles and different problems. And I don't know, man. Like, there's just some like I said, salute bulletproof. I gave him proof. Sometimes feel like my head is screwed, twisted like tornadoes too. Man, I just need some crazy glue. Who else is what I'm breaking through? Her nails, she gonna break a few. And you just feel like this like the stress and his like kind of just trying to get on through the day and just survive, you know. And you really feel that through the way he raps it out.
Well, I like how he also creates songs as well. I'm pretty sure Wayne has like some input on how the song structure is built, right? And I like how he went, it hurts to say, on verse 2, it hurts to say they want to get Lil Tune to break. It's worth the wait, commercial break. And how the chorus comes in right after, and there's like a little bit of like a static thing, like we just cut to commercial. And I like how he's using the beat to also emphasize and like show like some imagery in terms of his his empire and how protected I guess he is. Like he's not going to bend over so quickly, you know.
And I also get the sense that like he touches on like the shallow relationships in his life and the different things that are going on. Like he just like ends up watching Ricky Lake and stuff, and like it's just so down to earth. I found this song flawless in my opinion. It's really good. I gave it a 5 on 5. I feel like it hits on that right nerve of what I love in music. It's slower, but it really amps up on an emotional front, and it really got me in the feels. So I gave this a 5 on 5. I really enjoyed it from the first time I heard it a few times, and I'm already like, I'm hooked, you know?
I wound that out of 4. I appreciate the concept of the song. I appreciate the way Wayne presented it, but I think that the fact that it's just maybe like a slower track is something that might not just be for me.
So we're 6 songs in, and if you may have noticed, we are liking very different stuff, and I think that's part of what he has a charm for, being able to create such drastically different styles that so many different people will. I feel like I'll get to the end when I sum up my album, but I feel like going through this album, there's just different songs that everyone is going to like differently in different ways. And that's something that's really special considering the length of the album. Anyway, The Dark Side of the Moon is a Pink Floyd album.
The eclipse is eclipsing. My astronaut helmet kind of shifted full of lipstick.
So if I understand correctly, this one is kind of like they're in space, literal space. And they're out there in Wayne's. And you know how you know she's not all impressed with the flames that it flickers, but take her on a walk on the moon as she wears slippers. The end of the world is coming soon. I'm going to miss it. The sky is falling. I'm falling for her quicker. So basically they're on the moon and shit, and the world's about to end in an apocalypse of some sort or another. And we hide amongst the clouds, and we pardon the enigma. High above the ground, I'm under her charisma, and then whatever. Sorry, what I was really looking for is my astronaut helmet shifted full of lipstick, planet of the aches, and she is my prescription, etc. I think he's literally fantasizing about being up in space as an astronaut, banging some chick in some spacesuit way.
I take it as maybe it could be his relationship that's helping him avoid the realities of life, because on Nicki Minaj's verse, it seems like the world's going to shit.
I know it's probably a metaphor.
So like maybe hip hop or his drug addiction.
I also think in some way,
I'm not disputing that.
Because keep in mind, Lil Wayne's a Martian, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's a metaphor for being weird and out there and all that stuff. So I'm not saying you're wrong.
I know.
I'm saying that he literally presents it like intergalactic love, the sky is falling, intergalactic love. But then I want to give a big props to Nicki Minaj on this one. I feel like this is the singing performance you kind of were hoping for on Queen. That I don't feel like anything on Queen had that kind of passion in terms of the singing.
I feel like Queen was more of a rappity rap. Like she had something.
No, but she had a couple of moments.
She did. I'm not saying she did not.
If she had done this, oof, it would have been better. This was a stellar and standout performance from her. I mean, lyrically, it's fine. She has a verse. She does the chorus again. Open up the curtains, wonder watching, people killing, robbing. You're right. Like, there is this sense of, like, the world is fucking awful. And they escape through each other.
I like how Wayne is taking a moment out of his, like, own personal thing and, like, talking about shit that's going on in the world.
Well,
like
Nicki's talking about it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Nicki, yeah, fine. Nicki's talking about it, but Wayne's expressing his coping mechanism to it. How I feel like that's what I get from the song. That is very fair. I get that Nicki is the reality going, this is the world, and Wayne is like, I'm getting high, I'm on the moon, I'm on this, I'm on that, because I don't want to.
And it's the dark side. It's basically pointing out that this is like an escape. And I knew it was a metaphor from the beginning. But at the same time, I
thought it was a love song first.
It is a love song.
Like I thought it was like a love song, Martian-y Wayne love song.
No, but I feel like it is a Martian-y Wayne. It's about like this jaded. It's in the same vein as many other disconnected people. Like it is his reality in a way. I really enjoyed it though. I give it a 4.5 on 5. I thought that like it's not really my cup of tea 100%, but I was so blown away by how good it sounds that I could totally live with this one. This one was really fun for me.
I gave it a 3.9. I was not really impressed with the beat. I was impressed with Nicki. I was impressed with Wayne. I was impressed with the structure, the way the way it kind of took me on a ride. But once it was done, it was like, all right, next track. Like it didn't make me really want to go back. It didn't leave me with anything. It was just
What do you bet? The next track left him with something. Let's talk about the Louvre with Mona Lisa.
You know where you had it, tell me where it's hidden. She know when you gone, tell me when the visit we breaking your home.
I honestly thought Can't Be Broken was a great song, and I was gonna be like, that's the only one I'm gonna love.
And then Kendrick shows up, and then
It's
you were like, ooh.
honestly, Kendrick is not the star of this song. Wayne is absolutely the star of this song. That beat is the star of this song. This is a good fucking song, man. It is an imaginative story, right?
Really, I'm pretty like to be fair. I could see Wayne doing this. I could see Wayne having his girls or his shawties or whatever on the side who are meeting dudes, letting them know the digits, and then Wayne shows up and robs the dude.
But
like
Kendrick is the guy
who gets robbed.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why this song is fucking dope.
But I never said it wasn't. Why are you coming at me like I said it wasn't?
You said let's get into it.
I'm just like I just said let's get into the song. Let's get into it.
It starts off with like Kendrick, like I got a story to tell. You know that I cherish these, hope it ain't too many feelings involved. And you're like, okay. And then Wayne just kicks in with this flow where you're just like, I see,
and it's that trappy, like modern type flow. He's killing it. He's
so a good way to put it is I saw something on the internet that said Lil Wayne showing Eminem how to be relevant in 2018, and this song is proof to the fucking pudding.
All right.
I don't know, man. And then it really is just a story, and it's a good story. Like, I be with bitches that be with bitches that be with riches. I tell her, get him. She say, I got you. I say, no, bitch. I say, get him. And, you know, it's just kind of like, it's like, go rob them and shit. And that is kind of the whole point of the song, is Lil Wayne describes that he has these women who go and fuck other guys and trick other guys into the situations and proceed to let Wayne and his crew jack their shit. And then he goes in the second verse and does an entire description of like literally busting in on the guy, and she opens the door naked and distracts him and lets the door unlocked.
I feel like it's also in a little bit of way like this is shit that could happen to you. This is shit that like he's not just telling us to brag about it. He's telling us because it's like this is a personal story or this is something that may have happened. I'm not saying like the braggadocious isn't there.
This is more of like the mafioso. This is the type of gangster way that Wayne rolls with, right? Because he's a boss, right? And he's just trying to describe it using this like imaginative story. And then Kendrick comes in and does his voices. You know what my problem with Kendrick is? Sometimes his voices are weird, but in this case, it really like worked out well.
I like how he portrays the paranoid boyfriend when he catches the girlfriend like talking a little Wayne and stuff.
Let's say I can live with it, and I get that it all feels and fits properly, but I feel like Wayne sounds way cooler than Kendrick on this. But I know it's also kind of part of the point, because basically,
Kendrick has
Kendrick is whatever. Like in Kendrick's verse, I think my favorite part is like when he's fucking rolling on through, and then the girl gets a phone call, and he's like, "Wait, is that Wayne calling?" And it's fucking Lollipop, and like Wayne answers the phone, and like then whatever. Kendrick is like, oh, you fucking just love rappers masturbating to my Kendrick videos, and then fucking.
Well, I like
because I don't think this guy is actually Kendrick. I think
exactly.
But
I do like when Kendrick goes, "God damn it, you knew that the damage is done, bitch. I'm emotional cause I'm in stress. I'm not supposed to go through this. I guess so. In conclusion, since you like rappers that's killing that pussy, I'm killing myself."
Yeah,
and I really like that kind of introspectiveness where it's like he's taking what. Like I guess this type of woman likes, and he's really kind of factoring in like the other side of that word, the other side of that factor, and it was really just cool to see.
I mean, I feel like if you guys want us to go line by line, we can. We'll do it in another video, though, because it's fucking long. It's 5 minutes, and it's more or less just kind of flowing through a story, eloquently put, with excellent rhyming, excellent energy, excellent beat. This is, in my opinion, one of the like if you like you know, there's like if you had to like sell the album by pointing at 2 or 3 songs. In my opinion, this is one of the most. Show it to people. It needs to get a video. I want to see that video.
I mean, again, for me, I like so far. I'm still like impressed with more than most of the production and the album structure, and by that I mean like the way that these songs are placed. Like there's a specific part right before Kendrick comes in. There's like a subtle pause. Now maybe it's because I've been working on some music lately that I'm like getting all these different like notices, but there's a certain pause in the song that really kind of changes the way that the song feels, like unless it was like kind of he comes in, like I just find it cool. Like I find it really,
just like
really,
it's something that's done a lot across a lot of music we've talked about. And
I mean,
never
still,
noticed
but I
before.
just like how it is. Like maybe I haven't noticed it before. Then again, maybe I'm doing new things or whatnot. But like it's cool to see Wayne's usage of the entire song.
But I mean, he's done that on like all of them, in my opinion, and he's done that like on, and he's really good at that. And I'm not trying to dismiss your point. I just find it funny that you're surprised. Like you find it anyway. I'm not trying to be a shit or anything. It is a good song. I really love it.
I did give it a 5 though. I like the experience of the song.
It's got this crazy good energy to it. Anyway, What About Me is next.
Girl, what about me? Yeah.
I am not a fan of Lil Wayne's auto-tune. It's just not my favorite Lil Wayne. This is a fluffy love song about a chick that's into another dude. And that is really what it is. It's soft. Because what about me? I stayed up all night for you. Girl, what about me? Yeah, I shut down my life for you. Now you run around with
like
him
he's just
and
questioning,
him.
Like, I didn't really catch the vibe of her being with another dude. I felt like this was just one of those.
Now you run around with him and him and him. How you do that? How you act like.
She's with multiple dudes, not just one.
I think it's one. I think it's like he has.
Him and him and him, like. You just said it. I mean, him and him and him. I don't know what other like "and" means, but
I don't know.
It sounds like she's parading around with other dudes, and he feels a little bit. Because what I think this is there's also a part in it where he's talking about like it's difficult because of different cities. So I think he's talking to the women that he used to chill with on a general when he used to fly into different cities. Maybe. And then now it's like when now he's like back in, let's say, New Orleans, or he's back in Jersey or whatever, and this woman is just like.
I kind of took it more like this girl that he was banging for a while is no longer as interested in him.
Same point I'm making.
I don't think it really matters about the cities and stuff. I think it's more like.
Maybe, but like.
If anything, I feel like it makes more sense for it to be like a local chick that he was seeing for a while.
Well, whatever local chick could be in any state.
Yeah, but it's
saying,
like. I mean, Wayne's probably travels a lot, but then has his home bases. So it's one of the home base places where I took. Anyway, and then some Taylor Gang guys, Sosamann's there, and he's fine.
The song's not that good, honestly. I gave it a 3.9.
I don't want to say it's not that good.
Like I didn't really enjoy it as much. I get the concept. I like the softer Wayne. It's interesting to see a softer Lil Wayne, but this isn't for me. This isn't something that I really enjoyed.
I feel like Sosamann was a little bit more into the girl. I don't know. He just wants to lock her down. Wayne is whatever.
I feel like Sosamann was explaining this like kind of chaotic relationship. Like she doesn't talk to him when he's on vacay. Like he's doing OT. She doesn't talk to him, but then she gets mad at him, and then he kind of feels like he's attracted to the fact that she's getting mad at him for doing certain stuff. Like I feel like he's just giving his little experience of what he likes.
I just don't care that much about this song. That's the truth. I gave it a 4. It's well made. I can't deny that. It sounds good in terms of like the sound,
right?
But like my interest is next to nothing because it's a fluffy love song. It's so vapid. Like I want that depth and some real shit. And I just don't feel it here. Plus, it's my least favorite type of music. Overt auto-tune stuff. Meh, I could live without this shit. Let's talk about a more interesting one with the open letter.
Not trying to reach him. They care more about how much I leave and where I leave it.
I feel like I was just bitching about a lack of content, and Lil Wayne knew that I might not have liked the last song. So to get me back and interested, he gave us this very interesting, and it really is just like an open letter. It's like he just addresses whatever comes to his mind about a plethora of different subjects in this really long verse, right? And then at the end, has his mom kind of talking, and that kind of leads into the next song, which I like because she appears a few times at the end of songs. If we've glossed over any, my bad. And I just really love this one, actually. Stuff like sometimes I feel like I ain't shit. Sometimes I feel like shit. Talking about some real life shit. Goodbye letter. Dear life shit. Just right off the jump. Lil Wayne's life, as much as it might be fun, has some heaviness to it. And it just flows from there, you know? I like when he talks about how his like son, he calls up his son, it's the son of a gun. He calls up his daughter, he's gonna harm anybody who tries to fuck with her or anything, you know. A few bitches left him. Only got a new bitch elected. My old bitch was too disrespectful. I only gave my new bitch respect. That's power. Yes. You know, he's kind of describing the transitions and changes in his life that are going on. You know, I know he touches.
Feels like he wants to do better.
You know, cranky about it, got to drink about it, got to synchronize it, tranquilize it. Doctor ain't prescribing what he ain't realizing. Pain inside me got me thinking about trying to hang my body, sanctifying. I'm a gangster dying because all gangsters die. So I can't deny it. You can't tame my lion. Man, that's fucking powerful. In that, he's got like his drug use to cope with. Doctors aren't giving him what he needs, so he self-medicates with his own shit because he got all this pain and this anxiety and all this shit with inside of him. And it's like, you just feel like he's trying to avoid suicidal thoughts and super deep depressions through chemical abuse just to cope and deal with stuff. And like,
well, I mean, a line that he says, "I live and I learn, then die trying to teach. Lord, die trying to reach him. They care more about how much I'm leaving. Where did I leave it?" Like, he's trying to do more than just leave materialistic possessions behind. You know, he follows up with, "I hope I leave more of an impression on my kids to be destined to have blessings to believe in, Lord."
Which is, it's just real. Or like, where the weed? I feel like I'm getting a sober headache. Looking in the mirror at the one that know me better. I was too busy to talk. I wrote an open letter. Like the idea that like he wrote this whole thing and he's starting to sober up and he's just vented out all this shit that he just needs weed because he can't even deal with being sober.
Well, something I found super cool as well was the dirt under your feet could be the grave you fill. You don't know how dead you feel till you're dead for real. Getting high after I paid the bill. And it's like, again, you know, we talked about it. His heart may have stopped for X amount of minutes, but like he has been close to death. He has been close to seeing the other side. And it's like, when you really sit back and think about what Lil Wayne's been through, it's like, shit, like, for me, it just hit me. Like, it just kind of just made me think back to like a lot of the news. And Lil Wayne to me is, again, somebody who was very prevalent in my right. hip hop,
right,
everything. So it's just like, shit, like this is some honest stuff.
Well, I just appreciate the fact that we're touching on so much honest stuff. Like in the past, I think my biggest grievance has been like a lack of realness. But I feel like with this Carter 5 project, he's opening up, and it really is this like deep exploration into some of the real feelings he has. Like this is the first time I feel like I've gotten. I mean, I felt like the interviews on my Dedication 6 Reloaded helped me get a sense of his personality and his likability. But this is really exploring like some stuff I want to listen to because I feel some of these same things sometimes. And I really enjoyed this one. I give it a 4.5 on 5. Content-wise, is next level. The beat's okay. It's not my favorite beat, but I love the way he raps it. I love the way he flows it. I love this song, and I think it's really worth listening to.
I landed it at a 4.3.
That's okay. Let's talk about Famous.
Be short and sweet like thank God, fuck fame. And thank me, cause superstars.
Yo, I love this song. I didn't even think I'd have another one so quickly that I'm saying I love this one. It's another 5. This song is fucking, it really hit me. It hit me in like a whole different way. Because I know what it's like to like look at my mom and be like, one day I'm going to be famous and I'm going to do all this shit. And well, maybe I'm not famous, as you can tell by our shitty subscriber count and stuff like that. But like, I feel like I still have that dream inside of me. So hearing Wayne kind of describe like being famous and almost like this transition of like being young and wanting it, and now it's there and he is famous and he's actually like experiencing it and putting it out into this. It's not like the happiest song. It's not like gloating like I'm famous. It's like the way to being famous and like this dream came true and here's some of what comes with it type famous. And I really love the authenticity and the honesty and the way he spits the shit. You know what I mean?
Well, just to follow up, a line that he says that I think suits your point. All I've ever wanted was everybody's attention, because most people are nobody till somebody kill them. Probably thought that my career would be short and sweet. Like he's just trying to make himself happy, and at one point he realized that having all this attention would make him happy, and now he's there, and now he's got other things to think about.
I love how like he has like he's a little bit like aware of the consequences of stuff. Like rich and famous, it's better to be rich and famous. Message to my lawyer: don't make these bitches famous. You know, entertainers, sex, drugs, and entertainment get so instantaneous, simultaneous, miscellaneous. Party long and hard, and pray death is quick and painless. And it really just has this live fast, die young life. But like, I love the part where it's got that caution of understanding what can happen. So you're a lawyer. And there's non-disclosures up in there. We ain't getting these women out there getting some attention and stuff. But like, he follows up step like living in the spotlight, twisting life up when it's blinking. I'm never alone. I got demons and angels. Can't talk to myself because mama said don't talk to strangers. Oh, that line right there. When I first heard it, I literally went, oh, like I made that sound because like, it's kind of like that Scarface line, right? Like, I can't talk to my mother, so I talk to my diary. Except for that fact that it's like, in this sense, he doesn't know himself anymore. He's so fucking out there. He's so maybe redefined himself, and he's so convoluted that he can't even have a conversation with himself because it's a stranger. And he's bringing that up into it. And like, again,
the
it's
introspectiveness in the verse is insane.
It's just this inner conflict with it all. And then at the end of the day, I think he ends off the song kind of referencing how, you know, all of his real fans, like his original fans, basically stopped liking him when he became famous. And since then, he's been fucking hated.
I was your main man till I became mainstream.
Right? I love this song. I gave it a 5. And Reginae sounds lovely on this, man. Her fucking chorus is really good. This is a pop banger for real. Reginae Carter, sorry. I apologize. I love this song. Like I said, that's what I thought to say.
I thought it was a cool song. It was I don't think it was as good as Open Letter personally. I did give this a 4. But I like the introspectiveness of feeling famous because people are starting to hate you. Kind of like, in a way, it reminds me a little bit about why Eminem's famous as well, and kind of bitches about why he's famous and everybody's kind of hating on him.
If I saw something online that kind of like pointed out that the only way to be famous is to be equally loved and hated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a split. Like if you're famous, half the people love you, half of them hate you.
Exactly. And and I guess with that logic, if more people like you, you're not famous. Like you're not equally as in that status. So it was pretty cool. 4 on 5.
Yeah, if everybody likes you, you're not famous. If you don't have haters, you're not. It's as simple as that. I mean, anyway, that doesn't mean if you have haters, you are famous. It just means if you don't have haters, you're not. The next one on this project is actually the halfway point of this album, and it is Problems. Fucking Problems, not ASAP.
Lose my mind and my attention span. She see empty hands like, ooh, Lordy. Smelling like cool.
Unless I'm mistaken, Zaytoven is the only tag on the album for beatmakers. It was like noticeable that there was a beatmaker tag on this track, this Zaytoven track. Yeah. Also, fun fact, every single song on this album has the sound of something like that going off right there on every single song on the album. I have that in my pocket just to do that during this podcast. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. I don't know if that's like a thing. I never noticed it before, but I noticed it halfway through this album. Still, this one is kind of boring. I don't like this. This is the only one. This is my least favorite song on the album.
I feel like he's alluding to having. He's explaining his problems, but he's also kind of calling it rich people problems, where he's starting to kind of
like go half auto tune bullshit and like falls apart halfway through the song.
Yeah, but that's just Wayne experimenting.
I'm sorry. I know that some of you like this. I don't, and I feel like it hurt the song to me.
The song itself is actually pretty cool. In terms of he's just kind of expressing what he deals with, but he also acknowledges that what he deals with isn't shit. Because it's like, all right, you have rich people problems. Okay, you don't have enough, like whatever you want to think of it, and it was cool, but it wasn't as cool as I guess what we've had so far. Because I mean,
lyrically it's fine. but it's not interesting to me. Like off button, pause button, stop button, lock button, belly button, big old titties, she pop buttons, head button, Versace button, down on button to the top button.
Oh, so
Percocets, that's my buttons, hit the pop button. And I mean, everything about it is technically fine. I just don't have as much. So I don't have that much interest in the subject matter. The auto-tune part on the second half of the song kind of annoys me more than it makes me want to listen to it. I don't really like the beat. And then that beat tag, I don't know why, but hearing Zaytoven at the beginning like that, it just felt off-putting. Like, dude, you're on the Carter 5. Take off your damn beat tag, you know? I don't know. That's just how I felt about that. In general, it's fine. Like, I can see how this appeals to a certain group of people, and it kind of reminds me of a certain part of his career that I wasn't into. So I don't want to say more. I feel like I'm being a hater, and I don't want this to be like a shit on Lil Wayne thing. This song wasn't for me. Not that this song was bad. So 3.75 due to my lack of liking it.
3.9.
All right, let's talk about some dope people.
Just be quiet in the library, nigga, or the flowers on your grave gonna be dying every.
So there's something that gets sampled in this, and it was killing me. And thanks to the fine people over at Genius.com, I realized it's Explosive by Dr. Dre that gets sampled throughout this song. And I felt a little bit better once I realized what that was. So now you guys know if you were like me and confused as to what it was, but knew it sounded familiar. But y'all probably knew what it was. This one I really like this one. This is what I feel like the last one was trying to be, but he just does it in a different way, and it hits so much nicer. Plus Snoop Dogg's fucking fire on this. But again, it's like I had, let's say, 2 or 3 songs so far that I was like, not my favorite, but immediately after it, like he lifts it back up by switching the style in a way. And at this point, because I spent like 4.5 to 6 hours with Lil Wayne over the last 24 hours. That's a big chunk of my day. But it made me realize how bad Culture 2 was at staying interesting. Not to say it's bad, but it was so boring for its length, you know? Whereas this album, yeah, you can hit skip on a couple, but I don't think most people are going to hit skip on more than a couple because of how diverse and interesting it manages to stay alive with. And this song is just fucking fun, you know? Like, he thanks the Lord I'm not a broke. He's a dope one. Changed his name. I ain't an average Joe. Up above with my up above whip, my above average hoe. Tight frame with a tight camel toe. He just runs on through. He's a bit of a boss. He has this thing. I like the line where you are what you smoke. That's a fucking great line because you're dope. And I love Snoop Dogg's fucking verse. Like, I got money, I'm a hustler. Or sorry, he does the chorus. So if you're buying what I'm selling, you a customer. See, I can get it to you anywhere, everything, but it's point blank range when the pistol bang. And so I feel like that epitomizes the song. They make a lot of money. They are pretty fucking dope with who they are. Lil Wayne just rolls on through. I don't know if there's a lot in here that I thought was like next level, have to quote this shit because it's the greatest line I ever heard. But I do think that the flow is pretty fun. It's very interesting to listen to in terms of a great rap performance. The beat's fucking nice, very enjoyable. I don't know. It's pretty good. Because life's too fucking short. Get old. I ain't lying. Got a gold mirror just to see my goals clear. Be a role player, role model while you roll with him. And they say you don't need to be with us. Stay on the road. Like, it's fine. They are over there in that league. I wonder, what really I started wondering is, you know how there's like rich people Tinder and rich people Facebook?
Yeah.
So you got to pay like $1,000 a month. Like, does Lil Wayne use that? Because if you remember from Queen, they only have rich people sex. So how do you know the girl's rich? Anyway, these are just things I think about sometimes. I gave this one a 4.5 on 5. I think it's a fun song, and it's cool.
I don't really have much more to say about it more than it's a fun song and it's cool, to be honest with you. Snoop did a really good job on the hook. It was cool. It's got that mellow vibe that Snoop brings along to the table. Wayne does the Wayne thing, but it's, I don't know. For me, like, it just didn't, it was nice to listen to. It's something that I would put on if I'm cleaning my house and I can vibe to it or whatnot. But I don't think I'm coming back to this for like an actual moment or like, you know, whether you're upset or you're just trying to listen to bars. Like,
I can totally see vibes for this though. This is a cool song to like throw on.
Like vibes. Like if you're just like chilling doing, let's say you're the type of smoke, right? And you're chilling with a blunt there, then yeah, I could see that. Me, I would be cleaning my house, whatever. Maybe it's playing while I'm like working on some thumbnails or something. But
Chris makes our thumbnails.
Hope you like them. But I don't see myself really coming back to this.
See, I do see myself coming back to this. It's a pretty fucking good song. That's
Give
all
it
I'm
a
trying
4.
to say. The next one, track 14 of 23, is Hittas, the Carter 5.
Gassed up. AK-47, make a sitting duck stand up. I could let it.
So, the intro of this has him, because there's a deposition where Lil Wayne kind of blew off all these questions. I don't know if it was real or if it was fake. Apparently TMZ leaked it. Stuff like asking Lil Wayne if he won, if he performed at this thing, and Lil Wayne actually goes, I don't know, but I did perform at this badass bitch birthday party recently, and she was crazy stupid thick. And then I watched the whole 6 minutes of this thing of him just blowing off. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember every question, no matter what. He said, apparently, he didn't remember winning a Grammy. So it was like some funny shit to just see that there. And then I guess that's David Letterman going, is it true you performed with Willie Nelson at the Country Music Awards? Because that wasn't part of the deposition. So that was just funny to have that answer there. But then the song is fine. For me, it's fine. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's
There's a couple lines that I like. Verse 2, people, I'm an ass with the semi, call me semicolon. I was like, ha, 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 that's funny. I liked when he went in verse 3, he said something like, effective, been doing numbers since Roman numerals, strong as some, we armed as usual, we hit us hungry. And I like that. Yeah, the Carter series has always been Roman numerals.
And the Drake line is on this album and this song in the third verse. So you're right. Drake has a line. A line. Where's the Drake feature?
Drake's on the album. He has a line.
I'm so lifted. I'm so lifted. I wrote my will in hieroglyphics. Wheezy, where you been? The people miss you. Crickets. And apparently that just is kind of like he doesn't feel the need to respond. It's just nonsense. He's just like, fuck that shit. I don't care. It's just nonsense. Plus it's simultaneously because there's, to quote Chris, an excellent use of production and song structure because he leaves a little pause of silence and then he goes crickets because crickets would be used in that moment to indicate silence. That was.
I mean, you're gonna put the timestamp in the description. They can go to the song that I say that to.
I don't know.
Just saying. Sitting on
I'm not
this
going to
money
put that
to
time
me
scrapped
feel
of
like
that
a
song
cactus.
in that description, but sure.
No, but the timestamp will be there. Anyway, I like when he went, sitting on this money to me feels like a cactus. Like he's like, it's still reinforcing that money's not making him happy.
In fact,
still
it's
like,
giving him some ass pain.
Yep. But I mean, the song's cool. The song's has a nice energy to it, has a nice little bump to it. I gave it a 4 on 5.
I also gave it a 4. And part of it is that the beat doesn't do a lot for me. The energy doesn't do a lot for me. The general gist of the song is he's got people that will do shit for him, which was kind of alluded to in that deposition that like Wayne had people who took care of things for him back in the day and he doesn't remember who they are and shit. So he's got Hittas. He's got people that deal with shit for him. It's fine. It's not my style. And this one ends with his mom talking about how her son was almost crafted by God as like a genius, you know? And that's important because that's basically what Took His Time is about.
You never know when your close ones is a pussy till your nose run. Big and back being boo.
I feel like this is a really sweet song. It really is. But I'm not really that into it either. This is a part of the album I'm going to call my lull. There's about 2 or 3 songs in a row here where none of them are bad to me, but none of them are that good or super interesting to me either. I like the premise of this song. Like Mama said, God took his time when he made me and put my pride to the side off safety. I'm on a diet from the fake beat because in my eyes all I see is that dead me. So, you know, there's the simultaneous message that he was crafted by God to be the special thing and he ain't got tired for fucking haters and the fake people in the industry and all that nonsense. And so it does kind of come off really intense with that like warning style that he's putting out there, you know, smoke one, ready to pull one, tote one, scared of no one. You never know when your close ones is pussy till your nose run, you know? That kind of tone. Coming in with that, you don't know who's up. I'm a real dude. Fake people don't got time for them. I don't mean to sound so dismissive with it. It's just, overall, the sound of this was not that interesting. I do like his rum bum 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 bum. If they come for him, I tell him before he goes into chorus. That was fun. But I don't know. I give it a 4. I don't have a lot that I thought was interesting. It wasn't like there were any lines here that I was like, this is the best shit ever. I mean, I did kind of like the way he said Dracula funny to fit his rhyme. He didn't say Dracula normally. And I do like the fact that he compares himself to Galactus, because Galactus is pretty powerful and shit. But I give it a 4. It's an okay song. It's not one of my favorites.
I do enjoy the concept of God taking his time to create Wayne. I like how Wayne kind of backs it up with all like his accomplishments and what he's done. But the song itself isn't really that interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of got
this weird like feel to it. A little bit for me. It was kind of braggadocious a little bit. Like, you know, I'm unique, I'm special. Yeah, I give you that.
He's one of the few, I'll give it to him. You're allowed to say that shit, Wayne.
Right,
and I'm
like,
not going to hate on you for it because you've proven it empirically.
This song got a 3.8 for me. It just, I'd skip this.
Like, and I'm saying for myself, no disrespect to Wayne, but I think it's actually to his credit. It's the part where there are going to be songs that I really like where you might think I'm an idiot for liking, but you might be vibing to this track. And I think that shows his versatility. Mm-hmm. So for the album, it's a really positive thing, even though in this particular instance, I'm not as enthused. And yeah, let's move on to Open Safe.
Safe nigga, looking like an open safe nigga. We in this bitch looking like a.
Everybody knows what's up. Got that clapping sound going on.
I actually enjoy the clapping sound. I like how
Mustard on a beat, ho. I'm
the
different. Yeah, I'm different. Seriously, every time I hear Mustard on a beat, ho, I think of 2 Chainz, and he pops into my head no matter what song I'm listening to. Anyway, go on, Chris.
I feel like this song's flexing. You know, they're walking in like an open safe. They're looking balling out. They got money. They're having a good time. Something that stuck out to me, though, was verse 2, when Wayne said, I stick her hands in the fan blades. That when she told me where her man stayed, I ran up in that bitch on a rampage. Lil Wayne, I just feel like Lil Wayne's not fucking around, but to like...
But we already know that he does this because of that previous song with Mr. Kendrick Lamar. It's the same type of shit.
Ah, but he put the bitch's fingers in the... You know what I'm saying?
He's pretty savage.
Yeah, the last song with Kendrick, he had women who were like, yo, okay, my man's alone, come rob us, I'll pretend to scream.
You don't know what Wayne was like in those moments.
I'm saying.
You were just assuming. We in this bitch looking like Oprah's safe. I like that line a lot. This is one of those one-liner tracks, like, you know, new money, call it cake, fresh baked, hungry bullets eating off your chest plate. I feel like this is another club track. In. And it's got a good vibe to it. Metro Boomin, I think it's Metro. No, it's DJ Mustard. I think that's his name. He does a pretty solid job on this beat. This one, in my opinion, feels a little dated.
Wait, doesn't Mustard have a tag on this too?
Oh, you're right. He does. So it's the second tag. And then it made me think of 2 Chainz. So it wasn't a smart choice. But it makes it feel a little dated to me. I'm not going to lie. I think it kind of, with the clapping and stuff, this isn't stuff I'm hearing a lot now. Mm-hmm. But I don't hate it either because it's kind of refreshing. It changes some shit up a little bit. I like the fact that he's like, celebrate. My homie caught a whole case celebrating like he got a cold case. Had to take a smoke break. And then it pauses and he takes a smoke break. And then he comes in with the part that Chris quoted earlier. It's got a cool energy. It flows on really nice. It doesn't have a hook or anything. It's just 2 banger fucking verses of like flow. I gave it a 4.25 on 5. I think it's a step up from the last couple, but it's not quite as good as some of the ones I was really loving earlier on this project.
I gave it a 4. I think it's cool. I think it has a certain right type of sound for, like, again, like something you throw on at a party, something you throw on at a club to get in this type of like have fun, get loose type of vibe. But I can do without.
All right. And then I'm certain a lot of people were like, wait, what, Ashanti? When we talk about start this shit off right.
Is proud of me. She said I will, like ill with an apostrophe. It's Lil, don't you word around.
I'm not the biggest fan of Mack Maine's voice.
I liked it.
It was
I
cool.
like that old school type flow. That
It was old school.
like it was, and
even more old school than the last one.
but
which
it was
felt
cool. Like
new
it
old
was
school.
cool.
Yeah, it was like a throwback to like an older late 90s, early 2000s kind of feel, I would say.
Kind of getting you in this type of mood.
And with Ashanti and Mack Maine.
I don't really know what this song's about though.
It's like, I feel like,
Like I have here, I'm fucking awesome to awesome, have a child for me. Like that was cool. Okay, you're
no,
awesome.
but it's like
you're
I
still
fucked around and made a
braggadocious.
bunch of folk around money. Now I feel like found money. I'm fucking awesome till awesome have a child for me. Got homies who ain't coming till the cows coming with power. They try and press our power buttons now,
Right.
And then it just kind of flows. And here's what I think: Wayne's going out having a good time. It's like a party kind of vibe, etc. And he's flossing and he's just kind of talking about how he's got all these crazy shit going on.
But he just added Ashanti to it to make it a different type of feel.
Yeah, and it kind of because like even then the name Ashanti to me it is that more older
course.
feel, but then
Of
she
course.
kind of adds that softness with her like singing with it, and then basically I just kind of felt him flossing. The whole way through, he's talking about getting some girls, some drugs, some this, some that. It's a kind of normal night out type track, And then there's lines like, I'm a blood with some C notes and I'm getting more checks than a people. Yo, I've been through hell. I'm back on a steamboat. Met the double, came back feeling frio, gang banging, tatted up like Latinos. And since I'm on my Spanish, it's the Carter Cinco. And I like that, like it's that kind of his past touching in it. It almost feels like a standard all over rap song for what it's supposed to be in like whatever. And I thought it was cool. I thought it really did what it was supposed to do as a track. The beat's enjoyable.
I like it. I like it sonically. I like the sound and the way that that Ashanti and Wayne are together on it. I like how they kind of mesh their voices together on one of the bridges near the end. I gave the song a 4.3 because I respect what Ashanti can do. I respect what Wayne can do. Lyrics, there's nothing really that stands out, but like lyrics were great, presented well. They fit the tone of the song as well. It wasn't super dark, it wasn't super happy. It was kind of just like this type of vibe. Like there's certain type of like waves of vibes that you're getting from this album, and this was great for me.
I gave it a 4.25. I thought it was fun to listen to, but it wasn't like a standout, like I would go back to it per se, but it was more of like if this came on, I would bump it. It has a cool energy. It breaks up the flow of the album in a positive way and gives you something new to listen to so deep into the project. And I think that was part of what I really appreciated is that we're on track 17 now and like you're still getting some freshness. He doesn't rely on redundancy. We're not getting rehashed, oh, I already heard this. And that's a cool thing. There's real bonus points for Mr. Wayne. Let's talk about his demons. Is it just me, or does it kind of sound like in that like refrain thing, sleeping with the enemy? My demons are too intimate. She's sleeping. It kind of has like this Kendrick vibe to it.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
And his voice kind of changes the same way Kendrick does on that song.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's interesting. I like how he's expressing the fact that he's a demon with demands. I like that type of introspectiveness where
I feel like it's like he's a demon, but it's talking about his demons at the exact same time.
At the exact same time, but I'm addressing the fact that he's acknowledging
I hear
that
what you're addressing.
The demon and that he's got certain things that he wants to do, and it's like he's also trying to find a way to cope with that. And I feel like part of that is the demons that he has in his head he's kind of like becoming one, and he might be a little bit afraid of it, but he also kind of accepting it in terms of how his life might be going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's very self-aware, right? It's understanding that some of his let's say indulgent hedonistic behaviors make him come off like a demon with demands. Like he just has to have it, he's gonna get it, etc. Like, tweaking my energy, eat and die sympathy, scream and cry infamy, come alive mentally and love die physically, my love cry miserably, hug skate and loser with tongues tied kissing me. I mean, this is some cryptic shit, but it's also got some dark tones to it. Like it's not a happy positive thing. It's like he's living out these moments, but he's recognizing that there's some darkness to it. This is not necessarily what he once maybe believed it was. But then there's lines like sleeping with my enemy, my demons are too intimate, she's sleeping very gently, so now they start to enter it. Like you just get the sense that as much as he's the demon, these vices in his life are also demons that he has to battle with and deal with. And like, I really enjoyed it. Like, you done pulled the demon out the man, pulled the demon out the pants, put the demon in your mouth, and pulled the cleanup out your ass. And I like how he's kind of describing how it's almost
His
like
dick.
but he's doing some ass to mouth type shit with this girl, which is fun, but it's also like can be taken in a way where it's more metaphorical than that and not literally about his dick. This was a cool one. I thought this was one of the more poetic, adventurous tracks. It was like almost Wayne stepping out of his comfort zone, if there was to be that on this project. Right. I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I really enjoyed it thematically. I thought it was super interesting. It's a little weird, but it's a good weird.
I felt like the weirdness is what hit it for me. Is that why I gave it a 4? I like that he's experimenting and he's doing some different things with this, but I don't think that the effects or the specific auto tunes he may have used were really appealing to me. Pretty much it. I enjoy the concept of this. I enjoy how he's he's putting different meanings behind the word demon in different ways to be able to give you these experiences and these messages. But again, I don't think that the like some of the vocal mastering or mixing or just the effects were that appealing to me.
Fair enough. Let's talk about another great song, Mess.
To exclude the rest, she gonna have to tell dude to step, nigga to the left, nigga to the left, messy.
Yo, I feel like I touched on this earlier a bit. Something I always seem to crave from Lil Wayne is self-awareness, maturity. It's stuff I find and I value a lot. And I feel like this song is next level in that regard. I mean, let's take a look at this chorus. Because my days is a mess, my nights is a mess, my life is a mess. Okay. That's something we're not used to hearing. Normally it's my life's wonderful, it's great, it's all this. But now it's more like understanding that maybe this shit isn't as nice
like
as it comes off.
Turning over.
Or it just feels complicated and fucked up, you know? Like it's a mess. It's not necessarily good or bad, but it's not clean. It's not easy per se. My life is a mess of happiness, lust, sex, obsession, desire with no love. Fuck it. And then his bass, and I love that part, the way his flow switches, and it just is this mix of all these different positive things, sex, happiness, etc., but there's no love in his life. And that's what the crux of I feel like this song is. And he has all these people that he's meeting and he's interacting with, his side bitch, his wifey, all these people. They're all a mess. Nobody cares. You know, like he doesn't have the same normalcy. And it reminded me a lot of Awkward, that like song he did back in the day where it's like, we ain't got much in common, so we don't do that much talking. Sometimes it feels so awkward. You watch me take a shower, all that shit. It reminded me of the sentiment of that song a lot. And I really loved that song because, again, it was that self-awareness. It was that expressiveness that maybe like there's a darker side to, and that's been a consistent theme on this album. But I
feel like he's also being honest, though. Like, well, in terms
yeah.
of talking about like his bae, his wife, his side girl, it's like, even just thinking those three people, those are three main people in his life that are probably causing him issues or whatnot like, as well. Like,
I guess the tone is that once upon a time he would have been bragging, like, I got all these things, and now it's more like these things are all complicated and it's
like,
hard.
It's not as easy as like, we made it look to be back then.
And then, like, the verses just kind of have this really great tune to it. I love lines like, she gonna have to be juicy wet if she gonna rhyme the tune express. I'm gonna have to excuse her test. She gonna have to exclude the rest. And you get the sense that, like, there's all these things he wants. And if you play into the last song, he's a demon. He has all these cravings. So you got to do all these things for me. But then it ends up creating these messy situations. Like, I just heard a lecture, but I serve the questions and reserve a section with a bunch of bitches that prefer pleasure. It's 6:45. They just heard the shower water running in the morning. Dirty devil, I'm a mess, you know? And, like, all these girls and people around and this crazy thing that he's going on, but he's starting to realize, like, it just maybe doesn't make sense. Yes, no pressure. It's a jungle out there. I fell in love with a stripper. Lord, I know she got bills, but I'm going to make it rain till she's a flood of ideas. Got me all up in my feelings without knowing what I feel. I'm a mess. It's like the fact that your world is like that in this crazy fantasy where, like, you can't even have normal human relationships and shit. I've always felt that he was like that per se in terms of how he deals, but I feel like this song is just confirming stuff I've believed about him for a long time and made me have more empathy towards him. I don't know, man. This is a beautiful track to me. It's a 5. It's an amazing song. It is so honest. It is so powerful. It is so interesting.
I gave it a 4. I like it. I like how we're getting a different side where, again, it's not, oh, yeah, I'm with 3 women and this is so great and blah, blah, blah. I like the honesty behind it, but I don't know. I'm not captivated anymore.
The beat, the guitar, the
I'm
softer
not
thing.
hating on that
no,
either.
I'm just giving attention to it.
Right. Well, in terms of giving it attention, I agree. They are very produced well, and everything was just nice. I guess just me, I'm like, yeah, I saw this coming. For me, I kind of took it as, yeah, I saw all of this.
But like we've been waiting for it, and he's finally doing it.
Of course, and I can appreciate it. I
feel like you're not appreciating it. You're saying you can, but you're choosing not to.
Oh.
Anyway, let's move on.
I gave it a 4.
You said that, I think. Anyway, Dope New Gospel is the next track. I like when he goes, sexy bitch, rubbing my tats good, but before she do, bitch, wash your hands good. I like that line because cleanliness is important. And
hygiene is important.
He wants to make sure that you don't fuck shit up by putting dirty-ass crap all over him. So that was nice. Apparently Nivea's is like baby mama type person or maybe ex-person. I don't really know the real thing, but they have like a history together.
I ain't asking any questions.
And she sounds really cool. I really did like her voice. But, man, this is another one of those kind of lovier. It's fine. I don't hate the song in any way, shape, or form. But I'm also not into the song that much. I feel like it's got that soft vibe. Like,
well, I like the line, man in the mirror, my hero. I like how he's kind of self-building himself and taking care of that.
It also alludes to like Michael Jackson a bit and kind of that legendary status because he helped me send in my ego, and it ties in. It's not bad. It's just not great in my opinion, but it is, again, of that style where I'm certain that other people are really feeling this one. So I don't see it as a bad song. I see it as like a 4 on 5 to me, something that I probably am not going to go back to anytime in the near future. I would skip this one. And it's just pretty standard Wayne talking about a girl, in my opinion. And then
not just a girl. I mean, order is restored. Thank God Weezy's back. Order is restored. All is right with the world. Last time became lost time. No free time till I bought time. No tea time. No off time. It feels like he's actually talking about the rap game, and like he's not giving up. And like now that he's back and the Carter 5 has dropped and he's doing all his thing, like the Carter series is back and the world can go back to normal. Like this is going to help it. I agree that it's fine. I left it at a 4 on 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's 23 songs. If this one didn't make the album, I think it would be better. That's all I'm trying to say.
22 songs ain't so bad, right, Weezy?
There's a couple I would have clipped, but I would not have clipped Perfect Strangers.
I'm not supposed to be here, cause love don't.
Again, man, it's like awkward. Again, it's all this self-awareness. It's so unexpected in my opinion. And we don't even I don't know who you are anymore. Sorry, I'm in the wrong song. No, yeah, talking to the man in the mirror that's been fucking with these bitches, because he's bringing back the man in the mirror in this song. That's been fucking these bitches and it's dangerous. Sleeping with these strangers every night at different women doing the same shit, but you don't even call me anymore and you don't even care. So who am I to love anyone? I know it's fucked up. Different cities, switching women, putting cups up, getting fucked up.
Oh, this is the switching cities woman.
And yeah, in this case, and I like the fact that he goes back to the man in the mirror who gave him confidence in the last song, and now it's like he doesn't even know who this person in the mirror. It's like time's passed and he's transitioned, and now he's again going through the consequences. And if you look at like sex addiction and the people who end up in that life, they don't exactly sound happy as they're fucking their 7,000th women and they're like going through the same thing. It just kind of becomes like control, copy, like paste, routine. Repeat. And it's not necessarily fulfilling or fun. And then you can't maintain the relations, you know? Damn, love don't live here. Love, I don't live here. She said, why leave your shit here? I'm not trying to be sincere when we both know it ain't right. She hate that we can't get loose, but I can never hang tight. We can get loose, but we can never hang tight.
We don't even make love anymore.
And it's kind of like this is what happens with these girls. It's all passionate and interesting at first, but then he kind of alludes to something real that is never going to happen, and then it just doesn't turn into anything. And it just...
Well, it follows up with, I think a couple lines later, she tell me I'm a cheap thrill. I know she don't mean that. She think I feed her lies, but I don't get no feedback as she watch me pack. Baby, where my keys at? Kiss her on her forehead. I tell her that I'll be back, her teeth smacked.
Because, like, she doesn't have time for this shit, and he's got this particular life that isn't conducive to, like, really building up a relationship. But, like, you don't really hear, like, any rappers going on to this level of honesty, I find, about these types of details of, like, this is what really happens. It's maybe not a good thing. Maybe it is dangerous to be out there. I mean, to some degree, I'm certain there's a whole lot of people that are like, oh, yeah, you fucking know these different girls. It's really awesome. But, like, I do think that, like, you just look at that second verse. I was talking to myself the other day. My homies called me cray. My mama tell me pray. She said I need a day. I said I need a bay. So here it's like he's losing his mind almost to a point where his friends think he's crazy. His mom thinks he needs religion. And so what does he do? He goes and finds himself a woman to lose himself in and not have to deal with this problem.
Well, just to take that a step further, I said I need a bay. She said I believe in faith. That's his mother. Mom, they love me either way. Hold up, wait. It's like there's also an acknowledgement where it's like whether he's there or not, they still love him. Whether or not like he's bad or good, they're still there.
I'm like, yeah, it's true. No matter how he treats them, because I mean he's fucking Lil Wayne, and I guess if you're gonna fuck Lil Wayne, you're gonna put up with some shit, but you're probably not gonna be happy about it. And I guess he is more maybe he wants more out of these things, but he doesn't know how to change. I don't know. But I really love this song. I give it a 4.5 on 5. I feel like it's more interesting and it's a really like good experience.
I gave it a 3.9.
Okay, that's fine. I'm used to this type of crap.
Whoever resemble you and never remember who have been a friend of you or kin to you, they in it.
So I love how this just starts. That beat comes in real cool.
The dark beats are nice. The pianos are very smooth as they creep in.
I used to smoke to get high, now I smoke to get vibes. Whoo! It's like right away.
Honesty.
I used to be this way, now this is where I'm at. I used to tote the semi, still tote the semi. Some things never change though, right? I used to walk a thin line, now I'm walking chin high. I used to fucking get tired, now I fuck her 10 times. She used to make my dick rise, now she make me ribeyes.
I like the parallels that he's making, like the before and after. It really shows like the difference in growth or maturity or whatnot.
I mean, this song kind of flows through and is one of those bars tracks as it slowly builds up, and then the drums and everything kick in as the second chorus kicks in. And I really love that if he dies, he dies kind of feeling, like, you know, like he just comes in and he's willing to fucking unload and do what he got to do. Shoot you in your head, give your ass 3 eyes, and you still ain't seen a fucking thing until you see 5. That's a great line. Because like
5.
But like the way he says C5, C, you know, but like, but at the see the album, I don't know. It's a fucking great line. I really enjoyed it.
It's a great line. Everybody knows it.
We're really tired today. Bear with us. We're almost done. I don't know. I used to know you. Now I don't know you. I just ignore you. I don't bro you. With my bros, smoke you like we grow you. Kill your hoe to and your go to. I obviously censored out a certain word, but like you got like this sense that he's got his squad, he's willing to come in and do whatever. Some people pretend to flake on, like, you know, it's the same kind of shit that he's addressed, but I feel like he just flosses perfectly on this one. This is the best flossing song on this album, in my opinion, with that beat, with the everything. This shit is so fun to listen to. It's got such a great energy. You just get so caught up into it. I give this a 5 on 5. And you know what? At track 22, I don't feel like I often want to give out 5s very often. It has to be a great song. And this is just that. Well placed, picks the energy up, proper thing.
4 on 5. It was hype. I enjoyed it. I like that if he dies, he dies. That's a banging chorus. It's catchy. It flows properly, but it's not a 5.
I completely disagree with Chris.
The next track.
Hold on. It ends this song with his mom. I still don't know today. Was he playing with the gun or was it an accident? I still just don't know. I've been wanting to ask him. I don't know, etc. And basically, when Lil Wayne was 12, he shot himself in the chest. And so nobody knew why, per se, right? And then we have Let It All Work Out. let's get it out. So he admits in this third verse, was it the third or Tunchi, you a monster. Looked in the mirror, but she wasn't there. I couldn't find you. I'm looking for that big old smile full of diamonds. Instead, I found this letter you ain't finished. It read, I'm sorry for even apologizing. I tried compromising and went kamikaze. So in light of the situation, I believe he'd found his mother didn't want him to rap, and things were going really tough at his 12-year-old life, and shit was a little fucked up. And then he goes, I found my mama's pistol where she always hid it. I cried, put it to my head, and thought about it. Nobody was home to stop me, so I called my auntie. Hung up, put the gun to my heart, and pondered. Too much was on my conscience to be smart about it. Too torn apart about it. I aimed where my heart was pounding. I shot it, and I woke up with blood all around me. It's mine. I didn't die, but I was dying. God came to my side, and we talked about it. He told me another life, and he made a profit. And I feel like that is one of the most powerful things I heard on this album. Like, first of all, I mean, the rest of the song's there. We can talk about it after. But, like, the rest of the song pales in comparison to, like, I mean, it's all super upbeat and uplifting the whole way through. It's very strong. Like, it's got this tone of, like, I can make it. I'm going to win and all this stuff. And then you have Wayne basically admitting that life was so complicated that at a certain point he took his mom's gun, shot himself in the chest, woke up in a pool of his own blood and shit, and then had a conversation with God who got him to see a different way. And as a result, Wayne's life is now a profit for a different way of being and stuff. It's just like, it's some pretty intense shit. I mean, the fact that Wayne would admit that he had that issue, that he felt like he tried to kill himself, it's a big thing in and of itself. And that it ends on such an uplifting tone, like it's gonna be okay, like he recognized the situation, like he answered his mom's question and let her know, yeah, I did do that, but it ended up being like the greatest thing to happen to me and stuff. I don't know, man, this track is just amazing. Let it all work out, let it all work out. Sampha there is saying that. And then Wayne just kicks in, and that's just like the hook. Sorry, it repeats, and it's really nice. It's really got this beat that's just uplifting and shit. And then Wayne kicks in on that first verse. I'm in this bitch. Yeah, I was outside this bitch, looking in this bitch, but now I'm in this bitch. Yeah, I'm in this bitch. Tunchi, you a genius. Looked in the mirror and said, don't let the money come between us. I like that. So he's kind of self-affirming. I'm here. I'm fucking here.
But I like how he addressed the look in the mirror. Don't let the money come between us. Don't
stay pure no matter what. Which is obviously weird for a guy who's been rich since he's a kid to say, but still, I appreciate the fact that at least at this point in his life, he's trying to like become this pure person and redeem himself in a sense. Look, man, this track is a 5 on 5. It's got powerfulness to it. It's got the story to it. You feel like the overcoming. You feel like there's some struggle in Wayne's life, and he's finally free, and he's getting his album out. And then it got to touch on the last thing you hear on this album. Love You Dwayne. His mom saying that at the end of this outro and stuff, and it just ends, and it's just the most fitting and perfect thing for this project to end on. And I was like, damn, wasn't expecting it. Hit me in the feels. This song was a little bit of a tearjerker for me. I'll give it a 5. Like I said, I really like it. You have to hear this one. This might be tied with one of 3 of my favorite songs of the best song on this album.
I like the fact that he put it on the last track. After going through it, speaking about the album with you and getting all the different points and the different sides, it opens up a little bit of a new perspective in terms of it being the last song after he was honest with Wayne was honest with the fans and us like throughout the entire album, and then to end it with the answer that, like, I guess, you know, his mom had for years. I guess maybe if we knew what happened, we've had for years or whatnot. It was very powerful. Very powerful. Man. I gave the song a 5 on 5. The I Love You Dwayne at the end is, I agree with Holden 100%, the best way to end the album, because it's the same way that the album started. Yeah. And the full 360 connection is just absolutely great. In terms of the song itself, I love the way he built up to it. It's like, I had to hear it a couple times to really understand how it worked, but he gives you a lot of like struggles and pains and stuff that he eventually get over, and then he kind of builds up into I was by myself, da 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 da. So this powerful. Is the story, and it's like, wow, you even overcame that. I like the profit line, because the way I kind of understood it was, you know, you made a prophet, you made a legend, you made this. Like, I got that, obviously. but I kind of took it like God got profit, like recognition, money, change, however you want to look at it, and like a benefit.
I don't think that's the right way to look at a God line, but
what I'm saying is, in terms of Wayne trying to spread a different message, like maybe he learned something from that message.
That would make him I think that would make him a prophet. That is the meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So that's the album. All 23 songs of it.
Doesn't get boring. I'll tell you that. There's been some albums where we had 23 tracks where it's like
most of them kind of go on too long. Now I'm not gonna lie. I give this project a 4.45.
4.2.
4.45 for me. Cut out like 5 or 6 of these songs, it would have been a 4.7 or 4.8. Like it was really got the potential for that, but it went out really long. So as I said earlier in the podcast, that's both to the benefit or to the detriment of Mr. Wayne, because it means more people are going to find 5s. More people are going to find a song on here or 2 or 4 or 5 that they fucking love. But it also means that there's going to be more of an opportunity for some sleepers for some people. Now on a versatility front, I feel like he did everything. Anything you can. He even went back in time a bit. And I think he managed to make coherent songs with consistent messaging, this overall exploration into self-awareness, the consequences of actions in his life, his current emotional state. I feel like he opened up and poured his heart and soul out to us. And it's a beautiful fucking project. And I don't know if you guys watching it are satisfied having waited for it, but for me, who's barely waited for it, I feel like this actually lives up to the hype, and that's not something we get a lot of in music these days. Like a project that actually lives up to the hype. It's just like Kanye actually releasing an album on time.
Did he do it yet?
I don't know. We'll check after.
I mean, today is Saturday for us, so
it's 5:47 p.m. and the last I checked on Saturday, an Eastern Standard Time, and Kanye had not yet released the album that's supposed to come out today to not compete with Lil Wayne. Anyway, what'd you give it?
I had a question first. Do you think this is going to be an album of the year, or even in like?
I think it's got a Grammy nom waiting for it.
But do you think it's because it's the Carter 5 or because it's that good? Like, I think people are going to hype this up because it's the Carter 5. Like, just the history and the story behind it.
I would say both is the answer to your question. Okay. I really, really do think that it has the potential to be a lot of people's favorite albums. It won't be my favorite album. There's a couple I've already liked more than it. But all things considered, I think that this is an amazing project. I think that it has all sorts of everything needed to like live up to it. Like it is definitely a top 10 album, I would say, for most people this year. What'd you gave the project that?
I gave it a 4.2 on 5. I really enjoy it. I agree with you as well, again, on the fact of if there were some of these songs that were clipped out, I think it may have been a better grade. I think I may have enjoyed it a little bit more because I will admit, near the end of the album, I'm glad that Let It All Work Out is perfect. I'm glad that Used To is a good like second to last track. But I think that I got a little bit waned out near the end, which does cause some effect on it. But yeah, overall, I mean, I know I sound contradictory, but overall, the album is great. Like,
nah, it's cool. So, thank y'all for watching. We totally appreciate it. It's really cool if you stuck it through. If you just shut up for the end, you're also really cool. Feel free to let us know in the comments what you thought of the Carter 5, what you thought of our review of the Carter 5, what you think of Lil Wayne in general. Do you feel that this is album of the year?
Do you think this is the last album? Like, apparently he's retiring now.
I don't know about that. Maybe. He wanted to retire at 35 or something like that over his kids. Do you think he's retiring? I think he's a workaholic.
Well, it's not over his kids. He has other things he wants to pursue as well.
No, but like part of it was to be more around for his family was what I saw. I don't know. Just let us know what you think. Do you think he's retiring? And yeah, special thanks to the patrons, Lindell Williams, Super School 1994, and Ismail Gadamsi. These dudes get guaranteed album reviews, so we cycle through what they do. If you want us to cover something in particular of any era, any genre, even your own music, you guarantee that. Check that out on Patreon. You get access to content early, all that fun stuff. Plus, we'll get better shit, make it look nicer. Yeah.
We're trying, guys.
We're
trying.
Not, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Help us tell YouTube that we're cooler and shit.
Yep.
Hit that like button if you liked it. if leave that comment, and I'll talk to you there, and we can follow this up, and we can have a conversation. I would love to hear your thoughts. And again, what other project is your favorite Wayne one, and all that good shit? What's your favorite Carter, your favorite dedication, etc.? Okay, anyway, I'm going too far. Have yourselves a great week. I'll be back with some extra shit soon. If Kanye does one, well, we'll have a Kanye review soon. Peace.